So let's talk more specifically about calls and puts. With options contracts, you have calls and puts. Call and put. Those are the two things. You got calls and puts. Either you're buying calls and puts, or you're selling calls and puts. Right? You're doing either one of those. You're either buying calls and puts, or you're selling calls and puts. We're going to talk about both of those. This graphic talks about when you're buying a call, you're expecting the price to rise. That's why you got this arrow here. When you're buying a put, you're expecting the price to fall. When you're selling a call, you're expecting the price to stay where it is or to go down. See, this is the opposite here, huh? When you're buying a call, you want price to go up. When you're selling a call, you want price to stay where it is or go down. When you're buying a put, you want price to go down. And when you're selling a put, you expect price to go up or to stay where it is. Okay, we'll spend a lot more time talking about these ups and downs. People get very confused when we talk about buying calls and puts. People grab that because you were used to, well, people who are, starting to talk a little bit about options. Generally, you hear options talked about from a buyer standpoint. So buying calls, you expect the price to rise. Buying puts, you expect the stock to fall. There we go. Buyers, what they expect. Buyers expect for the call, they expect it to rise. When you're buying a put, they expect the stock to fall. But when you're a seller, you do the opposite of that. This is where people get more confused, in the opposite. So when you're selling a call, you're expecting price to fall. And when you're selling a put, you're expecting price to go up. That makes sense, everybody, so far?
So on the last slide, where it says the call where it says sell, it says price is expected to stay the same or fall. But on the next slide, it says for the sell part, what does it say? It doesn't say the same thing.
Expecting the price to fall.
Oh, okay. So I just didn't. Okay. Got it. All right.
Good thing about selling is the price does not need to move when you're a seller. It can stay right where it is. But if you're buying, you do need price to move when you're a buyer. But as a seller, price can sit still. Actually, sitting still is fine because you're gonna, you collect your money. Time passes. I'll get deeper in that. Time passes. The theta decays, and then you have it's worth less, which is what you want it to be, which is a good thing. Options basics. There are two types of options. They're calls and puts. Call options. A call option allows the buyer, so when you're buying a call, allows the buyer the right to buy 100 shares at the price selected on the expiration date of the option contract. Buying a call is a long, I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard the word bullish. Bullish means going up. Long thinks you're going up too. Buying a call is a long or a bullish move, which is where you're expecting the price to go up. Buying a call, you're expecting the price to go up. When you're selling a call option for the seller, it obligates the seller to sell 100 shares at the strike price you pick on the expiration date. It can be up to, because sometimes you can be called to sell early if you get what's called in the money. Selling a call is a short meaning going down, or bearish go down move, expecting price to stay below your strike price. Okay, so when you're buying a call, you're expecting price to rise. When you're selling a call, you're expecting price to go down. When you're buying, you can buy at the strike price that you selected if you're in the money, or you can just close the trade and keep the money. When you're a seller of a call option, though, I'm not sure if anybody's ever heard of covered calls. If you're selling covered calls, And what you're saying is, I'm willing to allow my shares, I'm willing to sell my shares at this price. So if I have a covered call at a 10 strike, that means the price of $10. If the stock gets to the price of $10, I'm saying I'm willing to sell my shares for $10. This is what I'm saying when I enter that contract. If I'm selling a covered call at a 10 strike, I'm saying if the price gets to $10, I'm willing to sell my shares, my 100 shares at this $10 price. That's what you're saying. Okay. Buying a call, price is going up. Selling a call, you're expecting price to go down. When you're buying, you're saying, I'm willing to buy my shares at this price. When you're selling, you're saying, I'm willing to sell my shares at this price. And the price is called the strike price. That's the price you're picking. Here's another graphic. When you buy a call, on the left-hand side, buying a call, you expect price to go up. Selling a call, you expect price to go down. I keep reiterating this because this is where people get confused. People get confused here. Okay, we talked about calls. Now let's talk about puts. A put option allows the buyer, so if you buy a put, it allows you the right to sell 100 shares at the price you selected on the expiration date of the option. When you're buying a put, you're thinking price is going down. Put, like a put down when you're buying a put. You're expecting the price to go down. But when you're selling a put option obligates the seller to buy 100 shares or to be put 100 shares, which this is kind of where it gets wonky too, to buy 100 shares at the strike price that you picked. So if you sell a put at 5, believing price will go up, but if the price comes down to 5 or is at 5 at expiration, what you're saying is, I'm willing to receive 100 shares at this price, at that price of 5. I'm willing to receive the price, the 100 shares at $5 a share. What's happening there? Graphic. When you're buying a put, you're expecting the price to go down. Buying a put down. Whoop. When you're selling a put, you're expecting price to stay where it is or go up. So if you have an understanding of buying calls and buying puts, then when you're selling, you're doing the opposite. I think where people can get confused is if you don't know about either one, then you have to learn both of them at the same time. Okay, I want to go back to a graphic that we looked at. So maybe it'll mean a little more to you now that I've gone through. Where are you? There we go. Did y'all see that I put the slides and the replay inside of the boot camp at Educator2Trader.com? I put them inside of the same place where you paid. I put the slides from last night and the video replay. I'll put them there. I'll put these there too. That way you can go back and look at these things if you need to. You'll have them available to you. Okay, this was when you're buying a call, you're expecting price to go up. When you're selling a call, you're expecting it to stay even or go down. Buying a put, going down. Selling a put, expecting it to go up or stay even. Okay, now we're getting ready to have a quiz. Quiz time. Okay, this will be called a chart, right? We talked a little bit about this last night. Basically, what happened here, this was SPX on this particular day. Price opened up, over here at this price here. It opened up right here. It did a little bit of up. Let me change the color so we can see what's happening here. Did a little bit of up. Then it went down. Got to a place, we call this support. Talked about it yesterday. It went up again and then back down some more. Right, it hit a resistance up here. There's a resistance up here too, where it hit the ceiling and came back down. This is a support. We got another support a little bit lower. Hit the support, boom. It bounced, went up, kind of hung around for a little while. All this stuff right here would be called resistance, which is the same line as this one. Notice this was, the price went down, it hit it and went down and then came back up to the same area. Let you know that's resistance. Enough movement and it came back down to some support, which is similar to the support over here. And then at the time I took this picture, the day hadn't closed yet. But this is where it ended up when I took this screenshot. Okay, this was a chart. We see the ups, the downs, the supports, and the resistances. Okay, now let's go for quiz time. At point number 1, at number 1 place, if you were at number 1, of course, looking back, hindsight is always 20/20. What could have been a good trade to take there? Based on the calls and puts we just learned about, what could have been a good trade? 2 of them we could have taken at this place.
Are you asking price-wise or?
I'm asking for
Like
puts and
calls.
calls. Would you sell? Would you buy? Puts and calls. What's combination would we use at point number 1?
This was much. The price is going down.
What would be a good trade to enter at point 1?
So,
I-
sorry. I
Nope.
think it's from here, being that it's here, it's expected to rise. So you're gonna buy
Buy a what?
a call because it's expected to rise.
Okay. You could buy a call or
a put. You could sell a put because the price with a put, the price is expected to stay the same or rise.
For what?
No?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. At once. Good job, Stephen. I saw your answer. You could buy a call or you could sell a put at this place with the expectation that the price is going to go up. Looking at point number 2. Point number 2, what could have been a good trade to take here?
Here you sell a call.
Okay, so I heard sell a call. Or
going down. Buy a put.
Or buy a put. Yeah. Very good.
We're looking at this chart. This is what's happening throughout a day. So is there a certain time of the day that, and I might be asking a question that you're going to cover later, but like, would you even want to buy that early? How does that work? Or would you wait for a certain time?
So it really depends on the strategies that you are using. If you are buying, you're going to want to be more strategic with your entries. If you're selling, you don't have to be as strategic when you're selling. So there's no real time of day per se. Some people like different times of the day depending on what their life allows them. Some folks like to trade in the morning. Some people are trading throughout the day because they have the time available. Some folks just wait to the last. Like my community, we wait to the last hour or so of the day, hour and a half, in order to trade the SPX because we want to be close to expiration. But there's some people who get in the morning, who hop into a trade, let it do what it's going to do, and then they hop back out. So it really is, it comes down to being a personal preference.
Okay.
Okay. Question so far? Question so far?
So
Good job.
let's say you started at the beginning of the day, right? Because you're talking about expiration. What expiration date would you set? Because let's say I said, what expiration date would you set?
Okay, so that is going to be strategy based as well. If you're buying, you need to buy more time. So generally, if you're buying calls and puts, most people who are not day trading are buying out 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, right? They're buying out in time. So they're picking an expiration that is 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, because you want to give the trade the chance to do what you want it to do. Some people do it during the day. Some people open and close on the same day. You know, there's strategies to go with all these. As a seller, you can sell for the same day. Like we do. SPY expires every day. SPX expires every day. So you could trade that same day for the same day close. Or you can go out further in time and collect more money when you enter the trade. So again, all these things you do there, when you enter, how much time, what expirations you pick, all these things are kind of strategy based. So it really depends on which strategy you like. As we go through the different things, we'll talk about them. You'll see which strategies do I like, and then there's criteria to go along with that strategy.
Because it doesn't that also affect the price? Like the further out you go versus sooner?
It does. Yeah. So if you're buying today, but you're buying for a week's expiration, that it might cost you $100. You buy for 3 weeks expiration, it might cost you $300. If you're selling, you sell it for today, you might collect $15. If you sell it for 2 weeks, you might collect $150.
So what happens, let's say I buy something and the date is 2 weeks out and I just decide, oh no, I like this profit that I'm about to get if I
you close it.
Okay.
Yeah, you can close anytime. Anytime you open a trade, you can close it anytime you want. Some people buy with the intent of closing it early, but they buy it for the time so that they can, they sell for the time so they can get more money, but their intent is to close it early and lock in the profits that they have.
Okay.
You can close anytime you want.